Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the WBO World Rank Challenger, introducing Jeo Santisima. Introducing Emanuel El Vaquero Navarrete.
I remind you both to protect yourself and obey my commands. God bless you both. Touch up now.
Emanuel Navarrete won the world title on December 8th of 2018. Gets after it. This is a guy who had a rare 4-week turnaround for a world championship. He fought for a world title, defending a world title on August 17th, and then turned right around and fought also on a Tyson with his attitude of wanting to be in there and simply fight.
And he's a knockout puncher as well.
Yeah, Navarrete likes to get you with volume. And to Joe's point, yes, he's a throwback. Fighters don't fight like that anymore. They go to the gym for 8, and there's a difference.
Fighting to stay in shape. He's often twice a year. Now, obviously, the money becomes huge at a world championship level where...
And there's a place for that, Joe. You get to a certain point where the training camps are harder, they're longer, the fights are tougher. You don't need to be fighting 3 and 4 times a year, unless you've not taken punishment in those fights.
Of course, the two of you came to that point in your career where you made a certain decision, both retiring as world champions off of wins. The rematch with Dogbe came in May of 2019 when he had the rematch against the man that he took the belt from. No, the outcome was brutal for Dogbe. Of course, we have the ultimate rematch tonight.
Santisima is also a guy who he's yet to find his range, so he hasn't thrown very many punches at this point.
Navarrete.
He's got to get to him first.
Don't need to get excited too fast. I'm resting right now.
You got to save those legs because you might need them.
Tyson Fury has never seen a camera he doesn't like, always finding it, always smiling, always playing to it. Out, and he was with his fiance, and they were curled up, and he was resting with the sunglasses on, and Tyson Fury decided, and after the scale, with the barbs that were thrown.
I guess that was the alternative, or get as close as they normally would at a weigh-in, so I guess that was the alternative.
Yeah, that was the decision made after Wednesday's news conference.
Yeah, continual gamesmanship.
Of this WBO 122-pound championship fight. Santisima in the darker trunks, the challenger from the Philippines. He threw 19 punches in that first round. Navarrete threw 62 and landed 18 of them. 29% connect percentage for Navarrete.
It's not allowing Santisima to get settled, because when he gets settled, he'll hit to the body, he'll hit to the head. He's very, very aggressive, so you got to touch a guy like that. You have to give him subtle movements, and Navarrete's doing that right now. He's being very patient.
There's Santisima, as he was able to land that right hand, then Navarrete covered up, and he comes forward with a 3-punch combination, including that left uppercut.
The left uppercut, but really throw a right hand.
And Navarrete doesn't have to really go looking for Santisima. Santisima is coming after him.
Start to see in the background there the crowd filling in here. I'll show you all the celebrities as they make their entrance a little later on prior to the heavyweight championship fight. Navarrete with the jab here. Who was first in Detroit training nearly a decade ago, who invited Tyson to come over. That's when Manny Stewart was still in his prime prior to his illness. They spent time together with Sugar Hill Stewart, who now trains Tyson Fury. It was his cousin Andy Lee, who was watching the Raps there, who said the perfect fit would be to reunite.
Mark Breland, also a former Kronk fighter.
Yeah, Mark Breland, by the way, a great fighter back in the day, both as an amateur from there in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. JD's, that has been an unbreakable bond for years for Wilder. A body punch comes in.
Left hook to the body right there. He took a walk around the park to get a break, and Navarrete noticed it.
In round number 3. Body punches, he's been able to land 14%.
I like Navarrete right now, what he's doing. He's keeping the distance. He's being a little bit elusive. He's not being a standard target.
he shows you one thing and he does another. You think he's throwing the left, he throws the right. The next thing you know, you're in a shootout with him, and then he's back on the outside using his reach. I love what he's doing. I don't think he gets enough credit for his nuance, for his skill, and for his boxing IQ.
Yeah, and he's throwing these punches at distance, you know.
And that's really a no-no in the boxing game when you're being taught, but it works for him, and he's perfected it.
Yes, it is. Navarrete with a right hand.
The combination here at the end of round number 3. Another left hand from Navarrete. Trying to target the right hand, and he does. To both Top Rank and the PBC, as well as Fox and ESPN, of having great common sense leadership by the buying public. That is the live gate number tonight in the state of Nevada. Of course, we will get those final numbers in the coming days, but it is going to be north of 17 million just inside the arena alone.
That's great news. Although they broke
You happy
our
about that?
record, although they broke my record,
You happy about that?
I'm happy. I'm happy.
Hey, Lennox
it
Lewis, you
shows
are
great
connected.
promotion and social media.
Lennox, you are connected with history.
So, there you go.
Well, you had some of the greatest, and we're happy to have you here ringside on our broadcast team. The heavyweight champion tonight, who will remain undefeated between Wilder and Fury. It's monitoring the wrapping of Wilder's right hand for Team Fury.
Whoa.
No objection, and look at Santisima as he comes forward here in round 4 against the world champion Navarrete, who is ready to respond.
So it's like I said, now you're in a shootout all of a sudden. So you see Navarrete boxing and using his skill, and all of a sudden you're in a shootout.
As he was coming forward that time, and it gets Navarrete's attention at least.
What you see is one guy in Santisima who does one thing well, up his sleeve and more tools in the toolbox.
Santisima willing to.
And Navarrete is showing these nuances in his skill because he stays busy, Joe. He's an active fighter, so you have no choice but to get better when you're active.
Threw over 85 punches in this round alone, did the champion Navarrete. And Mark Kriegel providing commentary. And our unofficial score ringside, work rate of Navarrete that has been controlling the action as he lunges ahead with a series of right hands. Turns southpaw for a moment. That is not a knockdown there. 375 punches. And now he's landed 120. Opened up that time, and filling the spot was a left hook from the Filipino Santisima, and it doesn't even stop Navarrete at all. He just keeps punching. Wide-ranging right hand, and now Navarrete is on the attack here in round number 5. Touching him time and again. Left uppercut, right uppercut, body shot comes in.
Look for that left hook to the body. Santisima has taken the headshots pretty well, but the shot he hasn't taken well is the left hook to the liver.
He is a fan-friendly fighter, and now wrapping up is Santisima.
You know, weather the storm and then come back with a combination of his own.
This has been a dominating 5th round from Emanuel Navarrete.
Navarrete, he's sensing a little bit more. He feels that
Santisima is still trying to recover from what happened the last round, so he's not taking advantage. It's a silent agreement taking place right now. If you're gonna rest, I'm gonna rest.
In that 5th round, Navarrete landed 47 punches. Santisima threw just 34 punches. That was.
I think it's going to be by a whole bunch of combinations at once. You know, and they're getting through.
It's a right hand from Navarrete. They were trying to get over the top there. Comes to the inside. Santisima tried to time something, and now Santisima goes to the body, and there's a left hook upstairs from Navarrete.
Navarrete is a veteran. He fights when he wants to fight, with throwing minimal punches and taking minimal punishment.
Just like he's doing in this round, doing the same thing. He was definitely winded in the last round.
Well, somebody who travels the world with you week in and week out covering boxing, I'm well aware of how you like to be prepared well in advance, Andre Ward. It's great to have this conversation driven between the guy who was the heavyweight champion of the world and the guy who retired undefeated. Round 7 here, WBO 122-pound championship with Emanuel Navarrete, who has been among the most active world champions. He had the rarest of rares, a 4-week turnaround to defend a title. He fought in mid-August, he fought in mid-September. Overall, he's out-connected Santisima 164-42, including 124 power punches. The best work coming in round number 5 when he had 47 connects. There's a 1-2 from the champ.
And he didn't want it for whatever reason, so Navarrete said, okay, I'll take it. So that's why he's here tonight.
About the future of Navarrete, assuming he defends the title here tonight and gets through this, he has been struggling. He was chewing on ice cubes. That's all he was eating for about a day and a half, just chewing on ice cubes at 122 pounds.
Yeah, I believe that. I mean, you got to fight the weight that you're comfortable at. And if he's not comfortable there, if it's hard for him to make weight, go up.
That's
the difference is now is his team, his management is saying that. And then you look at the featherweight division and you consider some of the big names there and a guy who has the frame and can go up 4 pounds. Carl Frampton there. Josh Warrington, of course, Shakur Stevenson, who Andre Ward, you co-manage.
Gary Russell,
outstanding fighters is he ever. Coming to the end of round number 7, and that affords us the opportunity to go up to Brian Kenny and the guys. What say you?
Deontay Wilder's the puncher. Rocky Marciano used to fall asleep in the locker room before fights, take a nap. And Tyson Fury has that Ali personality. He's an extrovert.
Tyson Fury is the ultimate showman, and Deontay Wilder is a fascinating. And then, of course, you will see if he can deliver the ultimate bomb, and that is the eraser, the right hand. He has 41 knockouts, the most of any. Canelo has 36. Here we are in round number 8. Larry Hazard Sr. has 59-55 in favor of Emanuel Navarrete, looking for another title defense. He has been left hook to the neck and the side of the head of Navarrete.
not to take away from this fight, Joe, but
well, let's add that up the right way there as we include round 7 there. I just took a glance at 69-64 score there. You're absolutely right, Dre. You can sense it, and you can sense it building tonight prior to the main event to celebrate the great legacy. Lennox Lewis and Andre Ward ringside with us here.
I think Navarrete needs to get back to hitting the body, or that's what's jumped out at me the most, and I think he needs to get back there to try to get the stoppage win tonight.
Well, he also has to watch out for Santisima.
Yeah.
End of 8. Here's what I find fascinating, speaking of not allowing cameras. Tyson Fury is very media friendly. He did not allow access for his sparring, in sparring with Tyson Fury.
Yeah, I understand it. I respect it. And I don't think sparring should be shown. You have a bad day, you may get exposed a little bit by a sparring partner. There may be a day, most days should be in your favor, but that's not really coming out of, I don't want to say out of Camp Fury, but just swirling about the cut and Deontay Wilder guessing. What you don't know, you have to wonder about. So I think it's a great strategy, and I think it's a good thing for Team Fury.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be able to turn it on and turn it off. And then if you're in there sparring, obviously you're working on certain stuff.
I said Navarrete was taking a round off maybe 2 or 3 rounds ago, but I think he's taken off the last 2 or 3 rounds. I think he needs to get back because Santisima has basically conceded to do whatever it is that Navarrete wants to do.
Navarrete, and
he switches from right-handed to left-handed seamlessly.
He does, on the attack. If it's there, he'll take it. He has no problem with making that transition.
Santisima's, he's receiving these shots, he's blocking them, but he's not answering. He's waiting for that perfect time to throw that perfect punch. Sometimes it's not there.
We have the heavyweight eliminator and then the big one, Wilder Fury, which means all the celebrities will be coming out. And believe it or not, many have arrived early here to the MGM Grand. Undefeated heavyweights. Something about this mega promotion that really brings us back.
And Joe, speaking of hand wraps, if you see Navarrete shaking that right hand, it's not particularly injured, and that's why he's not able to flick it the way he usually does.
And that's the last thing that a fighter wants to feel, is that the wrap isn't the way he prefers it.
Yeah, I've never heard of a wrap being too loose. I've certainly heard of a wrap being...
What does that do in terms of just your overall feel, your overall comfort as a fighter when you say to yourself, this wrap is, and now you see him going southpaw, so the right hand is now his lead jab hand. As he turns southpaw, goes back to orthodox, of course, and gets a combination a bit here.
Yeah,
and now a combination on the inside, and you can see the tape is actually loose on Santisima. Some good work here.
Headshots are good, but he needs to finish downstairs with that left hook to the body, just like that.
Look at this attack by Navarrete, and every so often Santisima is trying to place a punch between punches.
And I say that because Santisima can take a good headshot. Sometimes guys can take it to the head all night long, but sometimes they can't take it to the body. That was a desperate right hand from Santisima right there.
That was a big 10th round from Navarrete. Clearly effective.
Yeah, I mean, to your point last round, how does it feel? It's a nuisance. It's annoying. You want everything to be right when you're in a boxing ring. So to feel a wrap loose, and again, I've never heard of this. I normally hear about a wrap being too tight. But either way, it's something that's not right. It's annoying. But if there's no pain there, good body shot right there from Santisima.
There have been times where Santisima has found just enough of a crevice between punches, and now he tries to come over the top with the right hand, just missed there. And look at Navarrete now with his elbow up on the top rope before he comes out at the Filipino challenger.
That left hook a few seconds ago hurt Santisima.
Yeah, he's still squinting from it.
And Navarrete, you can tell,
yeah.
And there's a headshot. Santisima, he is compromised here in round number 11. Navarrete on the charge, trying to place a short uppercut on the inside. Runs to him to close the gap. Can he close the show here in style? Round number 11, trying to defend his title one more time. Coming down and wrapping up his Santisima, but he can't hold back from the Mexican world champion.
And the referee is very close to...
Can Navarrete finish things off here in round number 11? Russell Morris giving it a look. There it is. TKO victory. Emanuel Navarrete.
See what was going on, and I knew he was going to step in and stop the fight right there. Santisima just wasn't throwing any punches back, and he was looking like he was hurt.
First win, 27th knockout. He's 24 years old, and all he does...
Well, El Vaquero Navarrete!
And perhaps that's the last time he's ever...